But the ability to test at home is great to help with those of us who may get test anxiety. Hey surgical technicians or future surgical technicians, Brandon the Sterile Guy here. In today's video, I want to break down the key differences between the Certified Surgical Technologist Certification or CST, the Nationally Certified Surgical Technologist known as the NRST, and the Tech and Surgery Certification, which is the TSC. I want to thank the several people that reached out to request this video. And if you have topics or ideas for videos you want to see, leave those in the comments down below to let me know what you'd like to see in a future video. Okay, let's get right into it. First thing, hit that like and subscribe button. But seriously, subscribing helps you stay in touch with critical information relevant to your career, so just hit it. Okay, let's break down who the certifying bodies are for these certifications. The CST comes from the National Board of Surgical Technology and Surgical Assisting. The NRST comes from the American Allied Health. And the TSC is from the National Center for Competency Testing. One thing to know right up front, the NBSTSA only certifies surgical techs and surgical first assists, whereas the NCCT and the a.k.a. both certify surgical techs, medical assistants, EKG technicians, phlebotomy techs, and others. Now I want to break this up into the most relevant need-to-know categories, so you know what I am comparing here. I'm going to start with eligibility, then the application process, the testing formats and testing locations, structure of the tests, cost for initial certification, length of certification, number of CEs needed to recertify, and lastly, the recertification cost. What is it going to cost you to keep this certification over time? Okay, starting with eligibility. So all surgical tech certifications require a surgical tech school of some kind. And with any surgical tech training program, you need to make sure it is accredited. Usually the program will have at least one accrediting body, however many have two accrediting bodies. So right up front, if you've already been through surgical tech school or you are in one right now, you're going to be limited to whatever accreditation your school currently has or had at the time you completed. So check with your school to verify. So all certifying organizations require surgical tech training. However, the NCCT does require either a high school diploma or a GED. The NBSTSA and the a.k.a. don't seem to care if you ever finish high school as long as you completed a surgical tech school. I'm just kidding. They probably don't ask for it because they lean on the fact that the schools require that. So they don't feel the need to re-verify it. And that is for eligibility. Pretty straightforward. You want to be a surgical tech, then go to surgical tech school. You want the cheapest, fastest, self-paced, 100% online, and overall best surgical tech school? Then hit that first link in the description to check out Preppy, who is accredited through Auburn University. Now let's talk about the application process. For the NCCT and a.k.a. both appear to be online-only applications. The NBSTSA does offer both online and mail-in if for some reason you would rather handwrite and wait weeks. If that's you, so be it. Do your thing. The application process is very straightforward for all three, in which you provide all your information like name, birth date, mailing address, etc. And then of course, upload your school training certificate with your application. The process is too easy for all three of them. Now let's talk about the testing formats and locations. All three offer remote exams that you can take in the comfort of your home. But if you prefer to go to a testing center, you will need to go through NBSTSA or the a.k.a. But the ability to test at home is great to help with those of us who may get test anxiety. Okay, we're cruising right along here. Next is the structure of the test. It's great to know how many questions will be on the test so you're prepared. Both the NBSTSA and the NCCT are both 175 question exams, with 25 of those questions being not scored. Those 25 not scored are basically research questions for future test designs. The a.k.a. test is 150 questions and doesn't specify if there is non-counted research questions in there. I'm assuming there's not. With the a.k.a. you have 120 minutes or 2 hours to complete the test, and you must score 75% to pass, meaning you must at least get 113 questions right, as long as there's not scored questions, right? With NBSTSA, you have 4 hours to complete the exam. and must answer 98 or more questions correctly to pass. And lastly, the NCCT gives you 4 hours to complete theirs as well. And they do not share what the passing score is. They only state at the end you will get your score and a pass or fail. I know some people might not like that, but honestly, hopefully that keeps you from counting how many questions you think you missed during the test so you don't psych yourself out. Now let's talk about cost. NBSTSA comes out to be the most expensive due to the option of being a member or not. The test itself is $190 for members and $290 for non-members. But you might think, well, I'll just become a member and then pay the lower price. But the cost to become a member is $80. So that makes the cheapest option for taking this exam at $270. That's a pretty big chunk of change, my friends. The second most expensive option is the NCCT, coming in at $199. Quite a bit less, but still expensive. And lastly, the a.a.h comes in at $130. Now let's talk certification length. How long until you have to renew it or it expires? The NBSTA is a 2-year certification. The NCCT and a.a.h are both 1-year certifications. Now, how many CEs does it take to renew each certification? With a.a.h, it is simple 5 CEs. NBSTSA requires 30 CEs for their renewal, and 4 of those have to be live credits, which has to do with their annual conferences and associated vendor trainings. And the NCCT requires 14 CEs to renew theirs. And last but definitely not least, considering this will become an ongoing payment, how much does it cost to recertify? With NCCT, you are looking at $89 per year to recertify. With a.a.h, it is $32 per year. And with NBSTSA, it is a total of $25 to renew. Granted, I'm not sure how much money you'll have to spend on their CEs, so you may want to look into that. And that, my friends, are the differences between the 3 surgical technologist certifications. Any topics or videos you want to see, please put those in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I love you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.